This is an Earth where there is a red line that joins the people who have done the naughty. No one can see them except Yun Hoop. One morning, she hears some noises and uncovers the window to look outside. There's a man with tons of lines above his head trying to get a teenager with just one line in the car, but the girl is mad and runs away. There's another woman with several lines at the man's house. So, it appears that the guy has been caught red-handed. As this lady attempts to say hi to Yun Hoop, she covers the window right away. Yun Hoop wears dark sunglasses when watching TV because she can see the lines on the actors on TV. She believes that some things should be unseen by humans, and admits she has seen the lines since she was born. As a child, she didn't know what they were and put them in her drawings. It drove her mother so crazy that she ended up killing her father. When Yun Ho was a teenager, she realized what the red lines were and how dangerous that knowledge was. She attempted to self-de in various ways, but her wounds would always heal quickly. Since then, she has been studying the lines to see if she could find out who created them and why she was given the power to see them. She lives an introverted life in an apartment, though, with all the windows shut with cardboard. When a new neighbor calls the doorbell, Yun Ho doesn't answer and waits until the woman has left before picking up the bag. Meanwhile, Detective Jip begins a new day at the police station. He is complaining about having to care for his niece, and when a coworker tells him to get married, he laughs. When he has a break, Ji-wook and one of the female employees sneak into the archive to get naughty. However, she kills the mood when she invites him to her wedding. At Ark High School, Juk's niece, Sun-A, is being harassed and beaten up by other girls. Hae-young restrains her with a mop and reprimands her for not taking her money. She also asks her if it was her who reported the harassment, but Sun-A swears she didn't. An angry Hae-young doesn't believe her and throws her around, noticing that Sun is smiling for some reason. Then Hae-young restrains her and threatens to kill her if she tells anyone again. Later, Juk is investigating the murder of one woman in a small apartment. A neighbor states they saw a man wearing a helmet coming to this location but thought it was a delivery man. No evidence of bad behavior and no valuable items were stolen, so cops don't know why. Yun Ho gets another fruit gift from her neighbor that night. She consumes it while reading the news and learns about the murdered woman who is the second murder in the neighborhood. She observes a man in the background wearing a helmet and is surprised to see that he has only one line, something that is very unusual in adults. Yun Ho hears a bike outside, and she checks out the window to see the helmet man walking into the adjoining building. She thinks that it is the killer and she rushes to get her phone and calls the cops. But the neighbor welcomes him with open arms and a red line seems to be drawn between them as they get naughty. Sun misses school the following day and her harassers break into her locker to find an embarrassing note. Sun asks Juk for money at home, but doesn't tell him what for. When Ji-wook sees bruises on her body, he is suspicious but she won't tell him. Then Ji-wook heads to the balcony to smoke and sees the apartment covered with cardboard across the street. He receives a call from his coworker at that time saying that a call was received last night saying that a man was wearing a helmet, but the caller hung up. The police follow the call and Ji-wook realizes that the address is the cardboard apartment. He immediately pays a visit, and when Yun Hoop uses the peephole, she notices that he has hundreds of lines. She doesn't open the door and doesn't talk, but fortunately a neighbor walks by and explains to Jip that she is a recluse who doesn't talk to anybody. Yun Ho opens the door after Ji-wook knocks again and tells her he's not giving up, but wants to talk about the murder. She tells him that she had mistaken a random man for the killer, and she quickly shuts the door once more. A helmet guy, with only one line, walks into the building that night. Yun Ho hears the noise and sees him through the peephole, but she quickly covers it when he turns around. In the meantime, Sun is getting texts from Hae-young asking her for more money. Getting desperate, she sits outside a bank and waits for a woman to leave the ATM. She follows her through an alley and attempts to steal her purse, but must stop when a group of men passes by. At the police station, Ji-wook and his coworker Dong-sik put together clues and realize that both victims knew a man called Young Min. Looking at the picture, Juk realizes he's the guy who told him about Yun Hoop. He wants to go out to investigate, but at that time he receives an important call. Ji-wook runs to the nursing home and discovers that his crazy father is on the roof. He doesn't dare to say anything, and lets the nurses pull him away from the edge. Meanwhile, Dong-sik goes to the building to investigate. No one is at the door at Young Min's house, but it is open, so he enters. He scans his surroundings and sees a room with some weird things that freaks him out. Dong-sik calls Juk and tells him he has found something, but before he can explain, he's attacked from the shadows and the call ends. Young Min beats Dong-sik up and restrains him. He then places his helmet and glasses on and says there's only one left. Yun-ho hears noise and goes to the window to see the guy on the helmet across the street. She attempts to call the police, but her cell phone battery is drained. Noticing that the man is going to his lover's place, Yun-hoop grabs a knife and puts on her sunglasses before finally leaving the apartment. It's a scary process and her legs tremble when she steps outside. The fear is too much and she collapses on the street and dreams of her mother. In the neighbor's place, Young Min takes off his helmet and looks at the lines above the woman's head. He throws her on the couch and starts choking her, saying that this is how everyone can be saved. Yun-ho appears at the scene and tells him to stop, but Young Min is able to quickly grab the knife from her and slashes her while taunting her. Then he returns to choking the woman who hits him with a pillow and makes him drop his glasses. So he scurries around frantically searching for them. When Ji-wook comes home, he finds Yeon-hoop's shades on the street, so he runs into the building. Her apartment is open and Juk finds her bored with all the investigation about the red line. Then, he hears a scream and peers out the window to see Young Min attacking the neighbor again. He takes out his gun and Yeon-hoop crawls over to Young Min and stabs him in the leg. Young Min picks up the knife and is going to stab her back, but Juk shoots him down from across the street. As he dies, Young Min is happy to see the lines disappearing. While the paramedics are taking care of Yeon-hoop, she remembers Young Min's last words before dying in his desperation to find the glasses. She asks herself whether the glasses had an effect on the lines. Juk tries talking to her, but he's interrupted when Sun comes home and recognizes her. Later, Sun tells Juk that she attended middle school with Yeon-hoop and tells the story of how her mother murdered her father before running away. Meanwhile, Yeon-hoop realizes that for the first time, seeing the lines has helped somebody. She then gets a message from a block number saying that they can see what she sees, so she should go to Ark High School. The next morning, Yeon-hoop can't help but read the text and decides to get her life together. She removes all the cardboard from the windows and tidies up the apartment. Sun goes to school and finds that her bullies have drawn a mocking picture of her on the board. Hae-young reads the love note she took out of Sun's locker and jumps on her to get it. The girls battle on the ground until the teacher, Kyu-jin, comes in and pulls Hae-young away. She then picks up the note and tears it up. After class, Sun is ready to go home, but stops on her way out when she finds a pair of glasses in her locker. Meanwhile, Juk is still not convinced of the case and goes to Young Min's apartment to find clues. The walls appear to be painted red, but in fact millions of lines have been drawn on them. At home, Sun has put on the glasses and can now see one line above her head. On arrival of Ji-wook, Sun shouts at the hundreds of lines he has. She runs out of the building and as she wanders in the streets, Sun can now see the lines above everyone's heads. Ji-wook attempts to get Sun to school in the morning, but she is put off by his lines and walks away, thus proving that they were the fighting people at the start. Sun is paying attention to the lines at school and realizes that Quinn has never been with anyone. She is also surprised to find that teacher Sung-jin is related to Hae-young. In class, Sun is again surprised when Yeon-hoop is introduced as the new transfer. On the case, Juk sees that Young Min is wearing glasses in a picture, but they aren't in the evidence box. Then he visits the school and inquires about Young Min, as he used to teach there until last year. Kyu-jin says that she never saw him wearing glasses. On the roof, Hae-young slaps Sunday. Sun stops her when she is about to do it again, and says she will not pay her anymore. Hae-young kicks her down, but before she can do more, Yeon-hoop tells her to stop. Then Hae-young threatens her by pushing her on the edge only for Yeon-hoop to grab her in return and try to bring her down too. Yeon-ho will only release when he tells Hae-young to never bother them again. The harassers leave, but Sun isn't happy and tells Yeon-hoop not to intervene. Young Min used to go to a bar that Juk went to the night before to interrogate the bartender. He discovers that Young Min was used to drinking in silence, but eventually began talking to himself even when he wasn't drinking. He always wore glasses and the bartender heard him counting something. Meanwhile, Sun follows Hae-young, who secretly meets with Sun Eung-jin. Sun takes a picture of them as they enter a hotel and sends it to Hae-young. However, the girl responds that if this is made public, only the teacher will be in trouble as she is a minor. The next morning, Sun-jin gets a text with the picture and a blackmail note requesting 20 million in cash. He asks Hae-young about this and she tells him that Sun is behind it. On his desk he finds pictures of all his affairs when he comes back. Now that she has power, Sun has more friends at school, and even begins to see Chi's boyfriend Hae-young after he ditched her. At the bathroom, Yeon-hoop sees that Sun's glasses are the same as young mints, and admits that she can see the lines as well, which Sun tells her how she found. Yoon-hoop tries to warn her of the dangers of the glasses and tells her that the last owner died, but Sun doesn't care. She asks Yoon-hoop how to kill a line, and she tells her that the other person needs to die. Sun is trying to get busy with Chi-won in the evening but is interrupted by a text from Sun Jin saying that he has the money. They leave the hotel and go to the mall, unaware that Hae-young is following them. She ended up being in a bathroom stall and heard the conversation about the glasses. Sun drops her bag while she's taking pictures with her boyfriend. So, Hae-young takes the opportunity to take the glasses. She walks around the town to see all the lines, until someone attacks her. Sunny realizes that the glasses are gone and calls Y and Hoop, who she thinks took them, but she has not much to say as she is late for her meeting. She runs to the school and meets Sun Jin on the roof of the school. He begs for mercy since he has a family, but Sun reminds him that he knew the other girls harassed her and he did nothing. Then Sun Jin attempts to apologize, but he's cut short by a text from his wife who has received the photos and is furious. Sun is surprised that they didn't send them, but Sun Jin doesn't think so. Then Yoon-hoop comes to the school, and he sees Sun fall from the roof and collapses when she crashes. Soon, the doctors at the hospital attempt to save Sun's life, but Jo-wook arrives and discovers Yoon-hoop, who says that she doesn't believe that it was Sun's self-deed. The next day, Yoon-hoop notices that Hae-young hasn't come to school. The other teachers see that Sun Jin hasn't come to work either. Things are tense after Sun's incident and an argument ensues over teachers' responsibilities when it comes to taking care of their students. Once everyone has calmed down, Young-woo declares that he will not be getting married again. Yoon-hoop goes to visit Sun A, who is kept on a respirator, but Juk is there, so she leaves without saying hi. In school, she notices that Jun's son is wearing glasses that she sees all the time, and she takes them from him, but they are normal. In the meantime, Young-woo discovers the magic glasses in his desk and puts them on. He sees the lines on the teachers' heads and freaks out when Juk comes in with his hundreds. In private, Juk asks Chin for any useful information, and finds out that Hae-young did not go to school today. Next, Juk talks to Chi, who doesn't seem upset or worried. Chi-won says he didn't have an actual relationship with Sun A and that she left the date when she noticed something was missing. Later, Juk checks the security footage at the mall and sees Hae-young taking the bag. He would like to continue his research, but his boss dismisses the case as self-Dion. He visits his sister Kwon-mi's house to spend the week before he moves to Canada. Back to Young-woo. During dinner, he explains he broke up with his fiancée because she cheated on him. Thanks to the glasses, he realizes that his brother-in-law Jang-cha is a cheater. The next day, Young-woo sees the relationship between teachers. He asks Chin what she would do if she knew someone she knew was being cheated on. She tells him to be certain before saying anything, but that she'd also want to watch the drama. Young-woo takes it to the proper apartment, as he finds a package delivered to a neighbor's door when he goes home. He doesn't dare to ring the bell, but he does see the neighbor with dozens of lines above her head. Later, Young-woo and Kung-gi celebrated their mother's death day. Young was upset that his Bon-kol didn't come under the pretense of a business trip. The next day, a photo of Hae-young and Sung Jin begins to spread throughout the school, and Young-woo sees the line. In a parking lot, the police have found Sung Jin's body. He self-deleted because his affair was exposed, says a letter, but Juk looks at the evidence and sees that the body was moved after death. Then Juk goes to school to retrieve Yeon-hoop in an attempt to obtain more information. Yoon-ho tells him to get the glasses and promises to explain everything if he does. Young-woo sees John Cole in the car in the afternoon and realizes that the journey was a ruse. He then follows him in a cab and finds him eating dinner with a woman who is giving him gifts. Young-woo calls him to get him out of the table, and while BJ Bon-kol is distracted, Young-woo walks by the table to check the room key. A few moments later at the hotel, Young-woo feigns being room service to get Baek to open the door. He pushes him against the wall to confront him about the affair, and Jang Ch agrees to discontinue the relationship, but wants some time to take care of things. The following day, Young-woo packs up to leave the country, but John Cole hasn't called his wife, and he is concerned. Young-woo looks for the other woman on Instagram and finds out that she's pregnant. A furious Young-woo tries to call Kung-mi, but she doesn't answer. Kyung-gi is driving her car into the pregnant woman's car outside the apartment. She steps out and asks her brother why he did all this. Then there's the other woman, who is comforted by the arrival of John Cole. He is punched by Young-woo, and he almost starts a fight, but Kyung-gi stops him and tells him the truth. It turns out the pregnant woman is Byung-cho's real wife, and Kyung-gi has been the secret affair all along. But Kungmi was not to be, as she was scolded by Young-woo, so she did. Meanwhile, Ji-wook is looking around Sun's room and finds a notebook. Nearby, Yoon-hoop sees that a hotel is looking for employees and takes a picture of the ad. After she's gone, someone rips the ad off. Upon arriving at home, Yoon-hoop is shown the red lines on the notebook by Juk, and she finally tells Yoon-hoop. The following morning, the glasses are worn by the school's secretary, Ms. Ung, who is constantly berated by her bosses and who would like to be an actress. During the weekend, she likes dressing up with a wig. Yoon-hoop is a receptionist at a local hotel. Just before Ms. Ung arrives to rent a room, her new friends from school visit her. Despite the wig, the teens can still identify her. Ms. Ung practices her acting skills in the room, alone, as if she were a femme fatale. Later, when she leaves, Yoon-hoop notices that Ms. Ung is one line. Behind their boss's back, Juk and Dong-sik are still working on the case at that station. Ji-wook also checks Yoon-hoop's file and learns that her mother killed her father because he'd been having an affair, which she learned about from the red lines on Yoon-hoop's drawings. Later in the hospital, Juk asks Yoon-hoop if Sun has any red lines. So Yoon-ho explains, she has one, but it's not related to anyone from school. On that night, Yoon-hoop watches the news and gets to know about a killer who was arrested by the police. The guy appears to be wearing the special glasses. The next day, June invites her to hang out. They sneak into the swimming pool and Yoon-hoop jumps in with her clothes on. June's son follows her and they both laugh. Feeling comfortable around him, Yoon-hoop decides to tell him about the lines she sees. He believes her because she has no reason to lie. The next time Ms. Ung visits the hotel, does she perform her act when she is talking about finding the glass and how she followed the lines to find out that her crush has a lover who has many lines unlike the man who has only one line with her? She's made a hole in the wall. And every time the couple meets in the hotel, Ms. Ung spies on them. Tired of that woman manipulating her crush, Ms. Ung pays to extend her stay in the hotel and makes a plan. The next day, the woman comes again and Ms. Ung knocks her out with a fire extinguisher. Then, she ties her up and steals her clothes. She puts them on to meet with her crush, who immediately recognizes her from work. Ms. Ung gets close as she repeats her lines, but the man isn't interested and tries to leave. She throws a stapler at his back and he suddenly collapses. Ms. Ung places him on the bed and kisses him, telling him that she drugged him in his water. At that moment, his head starts bleeding and Ms. Ung realizes he's dying. So, she climbs on top of him and pretends they're doing the naughty to fulfill her fantasy. He passes away and his line goes away as Ms. Ung peeks. She then sits in the tub with a stapler. Staples get everywhere on her legs, arms, and even her face. Yoon-hoop sees the subdued woman heading out of the room in the hallway and runs in to find the man's body. The police soon arrive and Juk discovers that Mung is dead in the tub, but the glasses are missing. After the team has collected all the evidence, Juk drains the tub and finally discovers the glasses. When he wears them, he can see all the lines above his head. At the police station, Juk finds out about the affairs among employees. When Gina walks by, he's distressed by how many lines she has. Then Juk takes Chi to the hospital and tells him that Sun's line is not connected to him. He asks her who she has been with before, and Chi tells him that he's never seen her with anyone, but she talked a lot about a guy she hated. One night, Yoon-hoop receives a text message from an unknown number to attend a party for her birthday. The following morning at school, Yoon-hoop sees Ja is unusually shy and has a bunch of lines. Dong-sik seeks Ji-wook's assistance at the station in a case of assault. It seems that Ji-na had come the previous day to complain about a guy named Hanu who took advantage of her. She said that this was her first time having a naughty experience, but while watching the video of the report, Juk sees other lines. Dong-sik and Juk visit the school to investigate, and Juk is once again upset to see that there are lots of teens with lines. They run into Quinn, who is surprised that she doesn't have any lines. They go looking for Hanu, and Juk sees one line above his head. Hanu confirms that he went drinking with Ja, but says he never touched her and he isn't interested in her like that at all. After Ji-wook leaves the school, Yoon-hoop notices that Ji-wook is wearing the glasses. She wants to take them from him, but he refuses as they might help him to solve crimes. Quinn interrupts their argument, making Yoon-hoop walk away. Juk attempts to ask her out, but she's confused, so he takes it back. As he walks away, Quinn smiles, as she can see all of his lines. The detectives then go to an entertainment company where Ji-na and Hanu both had jobs. A boss tells Ja that he fired her because she wasn't working hard enough and that she is the ringleader in getting kids to drink. The detectives then come to the station to question both teens again. Juk leaves the door open and notices that Hanyu and Ja's lines aren't connected. That night, Juk gives Yoon-hoop the picture of her mother that he found in her case file. He also explains how the glasses have helped an innocent man from going to jail. Yoon-hoop surprises him by saying that Ja didn't have any lines last week. The detectives go to Han's apartment and find that he has everything very clean. scene. Hanyu gives them a few questions to answer before he sends them away. Then Jiwook leads Dong-sik to the trash bins of the building, stating that heinous mismatched sheets were suspicious. As predicted, they find a bag with bloody sheets and send them to the forensic team. In the meantime, Yun-hoop breaks into the hotel, pondering the reason the glasses keep showing up at her school and job. Just then, Jun-sun shows up, saying that he saw her in the street and followed her in. They have a sweet moment together and finally kiss while Yun-ho gazes at the mirror and finds that neither of them have lines. The next day, Hanu is dragged out of class and taken to the police station where the detectives ask him why Gina Nao's blood was on the sheets. "It must have been her period," says Hanu. Then the cops look at the security cameras around Heinous building and see a bunch of friends walking by. All of them have an additional line when they return. At school, Yun-hoop sees the same four guys and notices that they all have a line connecting them to Gina. She attempts to call Ji-wook, but he's already there confirming. The four boys are taken to the station and Ji-wook waits for the one with only one line to start crying. He says he'll take him home and loads him into the car, but instead takes him to Hanu's house. The boy tries running away, but the detectives easily catch him again. This finally breaks him and he admits everything. Hanu drugged Ja and took the four guys to his apartment where he could enjoy her while she slept. After this confession, the other three teens also confess and always blame Hanu forcing them to do it. Now Jiwook has a legal excuse to search Hanu's apartment and he finds the sedative, but Hanu says he still can't prove that he did. That night, Jiwook receives a call from the nursing home and he hurriedly goes there to find that his father is kidnapped by an unknown woman. After watching the video, Juk realizes that it is Kyu-jin. Just then, he receives a text message from someone with a picture of Sun-A. Therefore, he drives very quickly to the hospital. Sun-A is fine, but her line is curving. Suddenly, his father comes in and Juk is crushed to find out that Sun-A's line is connected to him. He immediately pulls the man back and gets ready to beat him up, but he can't bring himself to do it and has a breakdown. Meanwhile, barista Jun-hui is stunned to get a video of her private moments. Everyone stares at her when she goes to her college class. A text message from a friend says that many people have received that video. Jun-hui returns home to cry, as her lover threatens her for allegedly spreading the recording. Later, after work, she goes outside to self-D. However, Quinn stops her and gives her the glasses. Yun-hoop waits at the bus stop for Jun-sun, who wishes her happy birthday ahead of time. He goes to a hotel with Yun-hoop who asks him for a favor. They are together for the first time and now a red line is drawn between them. After they're done, Jun-sun goes to the nearest bakery to get a birthday cake. Yun-hoo waits for him and hears some yelling, watching her line fade away. She joins a mob and is heartbroken to find Jun-sun dead from metal rods that dropped from a construction site. After touching his blood, Yun-hoop thinks this confirms she's cursed and everyone too close to her will die. Yun-hoop runs to cry in private and is shown a video of her best friend Kyung-jin being tied to a chair with a text that invites her to the room of boundaries. Then she asks Juk for his assistance. When he gets there, he tells his son A and his father what happened. In exchange, Yun-hoop tells him that she gets a birthday card from someone every year, but she doesn't know who it is from. This person must be counting down her birthdays, and today is her 17th birthday. Ji-wook looks at the texts and wonders if Quinn is behind this. He has done a background check on her, but he couldn't find her, as if she doesn't exist. The pair heads to the school and see one classroom has the lights on. They run inside and she goes in first to the classroom, but when he follows her, he finds the room empty. Yun-hoop has found Kyung-jin and immediately frees her. Then the girls climb up the stairs, but no matter how many steps they take, they always end up at the same floor. They hear Ji-wook calling for them on the roof, and they go there. However, the girls reach the actual roof while Ji-wook has entered a strange room. There are several people there, including Jun-hui, who says she's very lucky to have met Kyu-in. A flashback shows that Kyu-jin gave her the glasses when she was teaching her how to remove her lines by killing her lovers. Jun-hui donned the glasses and spent the night killing off the men she was naughty with. She has just one line left and the guy is in the room as well. Millions of red lines emerge behind Jun-hui when he cuts his head off. They are all linked to Quinn, who makes them vanish, only to find a table where Juk's father is. He runs to untie him, but Quinn gives him a knife and tells him to save Sun-A, but he tries to attack her, but she easily blocks him and takes back the knife, killing the old man. A furious Ji-wook pulls the trigger. However, the bullets disappear into a force field and Kyu-jin grabs him by the neck. Yun-hoop attempts to explain the lines to Kyung-jin on the roof, but Kyung-jin turns around with the glasses on. If she dies, she says, she can see the red lines without the glasses. glasses, as Q Jin told her. Then Jin suddenly jumps on Yun Hoop and attempts to choke her. So, Yun Hoop takes her glasses off and steps on them to break them. Then Kung Jin calms down and doesn't know where she is, but she sees that Yun Hoop's eyes have turned colors. To her shock, the wound on her cheek isn't closing and drops of blood float away from it. Yun Hoop wakes up in the other room. She yells at Quinn to stop, so the woman throws Ji-wook away. "It's a blessing to see the lines," Quinn says, while the crowd removes their glasses and surrounds them in a circle. Then Chin raises a sword and tries to slash Yun Hoop, but her mother intervenes as a shield. The mother apologizes to Yun Hoop for making her think that it was her drawing's fault. Actually, she had the glasses, and that's why she killed her husband. Jin easily stabs Yun Hoop with a sword, who is furious and tries to attack her. Her blood begins to rise, so Quinn lifts her body up as well and causes a bunch of red lines to shoot out of her. These lines lead to a large red ball, which is also composed of lines, and Quinn tells them that Yun Hoop's death will bestow the seeing gift upon all mankind. When the ball reaches a certain size, Yun Hoop collapses. Q Jin attempts to control the ball, but it starts to glow and then explode. The crowd is in awe as the lines begin to cover the entire world. Yun Ho takes advantage of the distraction to cut off Q Jin's face and poke her chest, but Quinn claims that it's too late before dying, says. Then the people come out of their stupor, not knowing what has happened. All go crazy and run around in panic. They run into Juk and cause him to lose his glasses. In another blink, Ji-wook, Yun Hoop, and Kyung Jin are on the normal roof, but the ceiling remains red. The girls stop Ji-wook from taking the glasses, and the glasses fall off the building. Everyone can see the lines now, and on the streets, all the citizens are freaking out. Later on, all the passengers on the train are wearing shades to prevent the sight of the lines, and Yun Hoop is finally feeling normal. Sun has awoken from her coma, but without her line. Yun Ho goes to Jun Sun's grave and hears a voice calling her name. It is found to be Q Jin. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, leave a comment about your favorite movie, and we will make it next. Thanks for watching.